The good news is that the days of really excessive inflation that we've seen around the world are probably over, with just a few exceptions. I'd say Japan, they're upset because they have 2% inflation. Oh my gosh. But for them, that's a really big deal, after almost 40 years of deflation. But certainly when you look at the United States, Europe, Asia, both LATAM, Sub-Saharan Africa, both advanced economies, which tend to be wealthier, and the emerging markets, prices are not rising as quickly, and that's a really great break for consumers. And it's also very helpful for businesses, knowing that they have to be much more competitive in order to attract consumers and keep them. In terms of interest rates, we all know that the response to the very high inflation we saw around the world were big ramping up of interest rates by central banks to address inflation and bring the rate of change in prices back down. So that's over, and many central banks are actually engaging in what we call a cutting cycle. It's not easing. So easing is something, means central banks cut interest rates because they think there's something wrong in the economy. This is the opposite, where central banks are basically just reducing the amount of restrictive monetary policy because they're seeing inflation coming off. Interest rates don't have to be as high, and so that's why they call it a cutting cycle.